Vince, this is turning into being one of the epic heads-up battles on the World Poker Tour. Both of these guys seemingly fighting for every single pot. That's the mark of a great heads-up battle.
Amit now with a 9-6. Has raised with his junk hand, makes it 320 to go. And the raiser has a king 7 of clubs. What's he gonna do?
Well, he's got 160,000 in the pot. Only going to cost him another 160 to see the flop. Most people would, especially if you're sitting on nearly 8 million in chips. And John has made the call, so here we go. Well, flop comes king 7-4. Amit has flopped a flush draw. John Phan has flopped the top 2 pair. Buckle up, folks. I believe you're going to see some fireworks here, especially if Amit leads out in bets, and that's what he's done.
Trying to check to him.
He's betting 380,000.
800.
Well, John with top 2 pairs is going to come over the top. He makes it 800,000 to go. Amit with the flush draw.
I'm all in. I call.
He's going all in, and he's quickly called by John.
Yeah, this could be it.
Flush draw.
So once again, the crown could be on the head of John Phan after this pot if his hand stands up. He's got kings and 7s. He's up against a flush draw. He's got to dodge a spade.
One time.
As the cards lie, John Phan about a 2-to-1 favorite to win this pot and take down this title right here. Amit needs to catch a spade or 2 running cards to make a straight. Otherwise, John Phan will be our champion.
Put it on the turn and the sweat. 7 of heart.
Well, the 10 of clubs comes off.
4 heart.
Well, that does give Amit a straight draw, and 8 would give him a straight. So Amit looking for a spade or an 8. If John Phan can hold him off, he'll capture his first WPT title.
And 1 card away from winning 1.1 million. Here it is.
Amit needs a spade or an 8. Can he get it? He does get it. He's made the straight. He's backdoored a straight to win this pot. Unbelievable. Another dagger in the heart for John Phan.
You still got this, kids?
Oh, unbelievable.
Well, Van.
Online poker is back in America. No purchase necessary. Play online poker for cash prizes with players across the U.S. Sit next to your favorite ambassadors like Phil Ivey, Brad Owen, Rampage, Wolfgang, and the rest of the WPT crew. Play tournaments and ring games to win real prizes and experiences, including free entries into next-level poker events in Las Vegas. Sign up at clubwptgold.com with promo code YouTube.
Let's get back to play. Amit now in the chip lead with about 6.4 million. John Phan with about 4.7 million.
This time Amit looks down at another nice hand, king jack of clubs, but just limps in on the button with it. And Vince, I think this is a pattern of his. The stronger his hands, the more he tends to limp on the button. He raises with the garbage hands. Let's see if that continues. Well, John with the jack 9 says, okay, give us a flop. Now that flop, no help to either player. John is reaching for chips, and he is going to bet here, Vince. You know what's going through Amit's mind. Why is this guy leading out here? I know he doesn't have an ace in his hand. He didn't raise me before the flop. Now maybe he's got some of that junk on the bottom, but if he had a lot of it, wouldn't he check to me? Something fishy about this. He's going to call him with king high, Vince. Poker instincts at its finest, folks. You're looking at it right here, right now. And now the king of hearts comes off.
Catches his card. Nicely done, Amit.
Well, this gives John a flush draw, however. He does have the 9 of hearts in his hand. Amit has 2 kings.
But John Phan not going to slow down. Makes a $500,000 bet.
You wonder, Vince, this is part steam, what this is. But he's betting $500,000 right here. Amit's going to call him. Amit just feels like he's got the best hand, and in fact, he does.
River card coming up. What's going to happen?
Oh, the ace of hearts comes off. So there's 4 hearts on the board. John Phan has made a flush. Now, yes, there's a pair out there. There could be a full house. There could be a bigger flush. But when you've been stealing all the way since the flop and then you make a flush on the river, do you make a value bet, Vince?
We will see. John Phan figuring it all out.
Well, he went from stealing to really having something now. Looks like a pretty healthy bet, Vince. Looks like 950,000 is what he's going to bet here.
Yep.
Now, Amit stands up. He hadn't believed him since the get-go.
I call.
Instincts were right on the flop. They're right on the turn. However, they've gone awry
Flush.
here as he makes the call. John Phan is going to win this pot with a flush. And even though Amit lost that pot, Vince, you got to admire his poker instincts. He was right on track. He had John Phan right in his sights, but he got away just like a deer in the woods. And Vince with it. Once again, we have a new chip leader in this heads-up battle. Incredible. Yes, with about 5.5 million. Nearly tied for third is Stein and Dan Heimiller. Both have about 3 million.
And now Dan Heimiller with an ace-4 diamonds has raised to 300,000.
Andrew Nee from Mount Sinai, New York, who got in this tournament on a $1,000 satellite, goes out.
But Mark Safe always calling, this time with a king 5 of hearts.
Well, he's in position. He's got chips. He's on a roll. Why not?
Now the entrepreneur, Jason Strocek from Lauderdale with a 10-7, caps his cards here.
I would like to see a flop, but just going to stay out of the way here. And the Sang Kim in the big blind, he goes out as well.
Me and Danley again.
So the two pros out of Las Vegas going to fight it out
How's
again.
that?
You got anything this time or just air again?
That's for me to know and you to find out.
You raised me with air last time.
Poker cliches
I raised
flying
my best
around the
hands.
table.
You got lucky.
Here's the flop.
Double
Uh-oh.
pair.
Flop is ace, king, king. Mark got lucky again. He's flopped 3 kings. Dan Heimiller with 2 aces.
Action's going to Dan, and he's going to wisely check. Mark quickly checking behind him, trying to set a trap.
6 of diamonds comes off. So Mark's still out in front with the 3 kings.
Andrew checks.
Dan checks.
Dan checks again.
Ooh, you got a little mad there. A little
4
testy.
flush, and aces up.
Well, let's see if he's got anything since he's a little testy. 500.
Mark trying to play it like he doesn't have much, just testing the water. We know better.
Well, Dan calls with the 2 aces.
What do we need here, Dan? Spade ball?
Spade.
He needs an ace or a diamond.
All right, river card coming up.
Oh, and the 9 of diamonds comes off. Dan Heimiller has made an ace high flush. He now has the best hand.
Just a sick river card. Now it's on Dan. Look at poor Mark, waiting to be slaughtered.
Well, Dan is not going to check the flush. He's going to bet $1 million.
I don't love my hand anymore.
Well, good poker instincts by Mark. The question is, can he get away from 3 kings?
So am I supposed to believe backdoor flush or a king? Which one, Dan?
Yeah. Either one of them beat you, Mark.
I think my hand's too big to fold, though.
Mark just imploding before our very eyes.
All right.
Tough to get away from this.
Let's see it, Dan.
Well, Vince, he called.
Oh, boy.
Yep. Backdoor flush.
So Dan Heimiller going to take down this pot. And as you can see, Mark Safe a little disgruntled.
Mark Safe taking a hit. WPT Player of the Year just last year. What a run he's had, what momentum he has. All right, to the game we go. This time on Jonathan Jaffe with a pair of 8s, makes it 500,000.
I'm all in. Call.
But all in by Jonathan Little with just king 5, and he gets a quick call.
8s versus king 5.
Well, again, Jonathan Little up against it. That's what's amazing to me is that 3 former WPT champions have finished runner-up this season. That was David Benjamin, who finished second at Bellagio Cup 4. Gavin Smith, who finished second place at the NAPC. And Namley was second at the Festa Al Lago. Could that same fate happen to Jonathan Little here tonight?
5 cards to come. The crowd on its feet.
Well, it's come Jack, 10 deuce.
So far, so good for Jonathan Jaffe.
Well, the 2 8s are out in front right now. He can't help but grin, Vince. He knows he's so close to capturing that first WPT title.
Only his second WPT event.
Well, a 9 of spade comes off. Now notice that Jonathan Little has a spade in his hand as well as a king.
Yep.
He has spades.
So a queen, a king, or a spade will win this pot for Jonathan Little. So he has a number of outs. He's only about a 2-to-1 underdog right now to lose this pot.
All right, it all comes down to this card. The title, the millions.
Oh, queen of spade comes off. Jonathan Little has made the flush. And once again, Jonathan Little has doubled up by outdrawing Jonathan Jaffe.
This is not over yet.
He took a very tough beat there to go out in 6th place. Flopped the nuts, got cracked on the river.
Antes are now 10,000 blinds, 40 and 80. And Steve Sung, first to act, quickly folding a hand. Justin Young also going out. And now Evan McNiff, our current chip leader, 22 years old, has a queen jack, and he's going to get aggressive with it, making it 210,000 to go.
Well, but beating him in the pot with a 10 high is our action man, Chino Rheem.
Amnon folds.
Now look at this. Hoyt Corkins in the big blind has the suited connectors, as we say. There's 600,000 in the pot. Going to cost Hoyt 130,000 more to make the call. Can't see him laying this down, getting this kind of price.
Yep, the Alabama Cowboy is going to play.
Yep, he is going to make the call.
So we got three-way action, 9-10. Up against 7-8 of clubs, and of course, Queen Jack. Here's the flop.
Well, flop comes 7-5-4. Good flop for Hoyt. He's got top pair and a gut shot straight draw, but he checks. Both these aggressive players behind him. Not aggressive here. Evan and Chino both check behind him.
Free card, and an 8 comes up, making 2 pair here for Hoyt Corkins.
There is a possible straight on the board, but I'm sure if you're sitting in Hoyt's seat, you're saying to yourself, you know, if one of these guys had a 6 in the hole, as aggressive as they play, they'd probably bet the flop. So he's not giving them for a 6 in the hole. Good analysis by Hoyt as he leads out in bets here, 355,000.
The freshman goes away. And now Chino with an open-ended straight draw is going to give action. He makes this call.
Very marginal call here in my mind by Chino Rheem. Has the open-end straight draw. Gambling play, but the 6 comes off. The joker for Chino. Hoyt has an 8 high straight. He's got to play the board.
Yep.
He checks.
I'm all in.
And Chino is going all in here. That's a big bold bet in my mind, because even if he had nothing and Hoyt makes the call, all he can do is split the pot. He can never win the whole pot here. So all you can get is half the pot.
Well, sometimes you want to force a player out. It looks like an obvious push, and you're going to chop it up. So putting that extra money in might make him suspicious. It didn't, though. Hoyt getting away from that hand.
Well, you just wonder if Chino would have made a smaller bet, he might earn something. But
I thought it was
I
bluffing.
think Hoyt absolutely
Would you
gave
call
him
like 400?
credit for a 9.
That's what you would have bet if you'd had the hand.
Well, right
Really?
there, Hoyt feels like he's being pickpocketed.
Online poker is back in America. No purchase necessary. Play online poker for cash prizes with players across the U.S. Sit next to your favorite ambassadors like Phil Ivey, Brad Owen, Rampage, Wolfgang, and the rest of the WPT crew. Play tournaments and ring games to win real prizes and experiences, including free entries into next-level poker events in Las Vegas. Sign up at clubwptgold.com with promo code YouTube.
He's not going anywhere with aces and a 4 flush.
Well, Vince, he could have saved 500,000 by not betting on the river.
Well, he's taking a shot. The guy doesn't have a spade. That's the style he kind of plays. All right, right back at him on bin win.
Picks up a nice hand here. Got a pair of 10s.
Quality hand. And he's getting the chips out.
575.
575,000 is the bet.
And the Houston Bandit Cornell
All
He
in.
says all in with an ace-4 hearts.
Well, he's quickly been called by Ben Wynn. And folks, this could do it. Ben Wynn has him covered in chips. If his 210 stand up, he'll be the LA Poker Classic champion, winning in the first ever WPT event he's ever played in, Vince. What a story that is.
So what do you think is going to be the flop? 10 of hearts?
Let's make it interesting. 10 of hearts and 9 of hearts. Huh? How about that? Make it interesting.
Make it interesting. Cornell's got the ace-4 hearts. Over 700,000 in real money, the difference between first and second place.
Did Cornell get out of the line?
Ace high's a good hand, heads up as well, but right now he's beat. He needs some help. Let's see if he can get it. Well, a great flop for Ben Wynn. His 210's well out in front as it comes 8-6-4. Cornell's paired the bottom card. Right now he's got to catch a 4, an ace, or 2 running hearts to make a flush to win this pot. He said destiny was on his side. He felt to win this tournament. Well, he's going to need a lot of destiny to win this pot, Vince. Well, he might get it. 8 of hearts comes up on the turn.
That gives a 4 flush, though, to Cornell Simpan.
That's what I'm talking about. He can now catch a 4, an ace, or a heart. All of those cards will win it unless it's a 10 of hearts, of course, which would give Ben Wynn 10s full.
If Cornell doesn't get lucky, though, Ben Wynn, 30 years old, will become a new WPT champion, a millionaire on the World Poker Tour. Can he get this card?
He's got a dozen ace, 4 heart. Oh! Absolute devastation.
It's just not supposed to happen that way.
Wow, well, Vince, perhaps destiny is on this guy's side.
This is going to Todd Terry from Hoboken, New Jersey, 35 years old. He's an Ivy League math guy, now playing poker.
Also a former lawyer, very educated guy, went to Harvard and then law school.
Quickly folds Kevin Schaffel out. And now, young man from Malibu, Prahlad Freeman.
Yeah, your neighbor, Vinny.
Yeah. He's going to fold that hand.
I can't pick up my cards.
Well, this is Mike Kraskanko. He's a long-time poker veteran, been around for over 20 years. I played a lot of poker with this guy. He's primarily a limit poker player and a high-low split player, but here he is, the no-limit WPT final table.
Very exciting. He's got Queen 10. He's going to bump it up 58,000 to go. Toto, local professional out of LA, quickly folding his hand.
Oh, but the 21-year-old has picked up big slick in the big blind. He's got ace-king. I just can't imagine with his chip stack, he's not going to be coming over the top right here. He's starting out in 5th chip position.
Yep. Calls himself King Kobe MVP online. That's his nickname. Loves Kobe Bryant. And he's got to love this hand. Big slick on hand number 1.
He'll be changing that name to King Sam if he wins this tournament.
All right, he's going to re-raise. Makes it 206,000. Back on Mike Kraskanko.
Sam starting his final table with about 740,000 in chips. Mike starting with about 1.2 million.
We got another 5 behind, Sam.
Yep.
How can you not know, Vince? He just wants to hear him talk.
Oh, yeah.
Just wants to hear the guy chatter in case his voice cracks a little. But on the first hand of the night, it's impossible not to know how many chips each opponent has.
How much more is it?
You know you're going to do at least that much homework to find out who's got what amount of chips and who can bust you.
And look at that look on Mike's face. Like he just got stuck with a cow prod. You know, it's a deer in the headlights. It's a cow prod on your side. It just doesn't feel good.
And the truth is, it's just a matter if Mike's in a gambling mood or not. Wants to take a flop with this Queen 10.
Ooh,
He does make the call, so here we go.
Big pot.
Good action on hand number 1. We got a young pro going up against an old pro here.
A little surprising. Here's the flop.
Oh, what a flop for Mike. He's out in front now with 2 queens as it comes. Queen 8-5.
Action on Sam Stein, though, first.
Well, this could spell doom for the youngster.
340,000.
Well, he's going to bet 340,000. Mike quickly goes all in and is called by the ace-king. Sam sort of pot committed here. And on deal number 1, the 21-year-old could be out of here, Vince.
Behind. Called Queen 10.
Man, big slick could be backfiring in a big way.
Well, as the cards lie right now, Mike Kraskanko about a 70% favorite to win this pot. Well, the 21-year-old wondering how he could call a raise with a Queen 10 offsuit to start with, but it's not over. He's looking for an ace or a king or 2 cards to make a straight, but right now, the youngster in trouble. Hand number 1, we could have a casualty.
Oh, he's got some hope there.
Turn card is a 7 of diamonds. Well, this gives Sam a flush draw as well as the 2 overcards. If he doesn't catch an ace, king, or diamond, he's gone, but he's done it. The jack of diamonds comes on the river. So once again, Lady Luck shining on the youngster, the 21-year-old, catching it flush on the river to stay alive at this final table.